Okay, what we have here is a pretty standard kayak rod holder. It's an angled one, so we'll have to work out an elliptical hole size to get into the kayak. So I'm going to make a small template which hopefully will make the job much easier. These ones have come with a hole in the bottom, so we need to do a bit of kayak plastic welding on that, because it's not acceptable for sit on top kayaks to have this hole. I have found myself out at sea for several hours and end up with a kayak that's almost swamped by the time I get back in, so not a good idea if you've got a sit on top kayak. Right, we keep the bits that we cut out the kayaks because they're made out of HDPE, which is the right stuff when we're melting it. This particular rod holder should have a stamp on it saying whether it's HDP 1 or 2 or what type of plastic it is. It doesn't actually have anything, and it's a fladen as well. So I'm going to try it anyway and see how we get on. What I've done is I've got a little plastic plug. I've just filed it down so it's almost the right size, and I'm going to open this hole up by melting the edges of it, hopefully. There we go. What we try to do here then is with little circular movements with a soldering iron, I'm using a gas one here, I'm going to melt the two edges together.
There's got to be a certain level of trust with the dog, and the same with the dog with you needs you to sometimes give it the confidence. If you're in a ship with an engine room, it's a noisy, scary place, and the dog will look to you for like the going. It's something that nobody needs.
When the two plastics blend together, you know you've got the bond. Keep the pressure on if you can avoid burning your fingers at the same time.
It's very early on in his career at the moment, but I'm confident he'll find things. His nose is very
Together now.
Your headlines this Friday. MPs have slam plans which could see thousands of people a year having their bank accounts raided for unpaid tax. Police in Newcastle have been revealing how they tracked down almost over here from nowhere, if you can call it funny. It came out on Christmas Eve, and the little guy son was only 3 and he said, "Come on, I'll help you." So we were both pulling my hair out, and he said,
you can see now the plastics have totally merged on the joints. If you can see that, hopefully. It's just perfect. Smooth that over. You're not going to see this side anyway, but the idea is that you have got a watertight rod holder. Now if you can see, we've got a total complete seal on the bottom of that holder. Right, it might seem like the best way to make a template is to use a piece of paper or a piece of card or whatever, but because I fit several of these, I find the easiest thing is to make the template in a piece of plywood, and instead of having to work out the shape of the hole because it's at an angle, I drill it with a hole saw, and I have the drill coming in at an angle that represents the same angle that the kayak rod holder's at. So that's very much down to the eye, and then we finish it off with a rotary rasp or a file. If you make a template like this, you can keep it for future kayaks or whatever, and no hassle. Start the hole in. I might need to put a new battery on this drill. Right, I'm looking down on it to get the angle the same as the rod holder's at. Okay, so what we now have is a hole in here which goes in at an angle, therefore the bevel at the edge of the piece of plywood is in the correct angle, and the bevel at the other piece is an angle that agrees with the angle of the rod holder, so it's going to sit flush with the side of the kayak. What you need to remember when you mark your position for this, and the only reason we actually cut this template instead of drilling the hole straight away is because we need to know when this goes in that the base here isn't going to hit a seat or anything like that, so we're going to have to look at the kayak and make sure that the hole goes in the right place, the right position, that it doesn't foul anything inside. It's going to sit nice and neatly. Okay, we're up on the kayak. Now, using the template, it's going to go in from this direction. There's a seat in here and the battery box in here. It's actually going to have to be quite an accurate positioning of everything to allow for the rod holder to miss everything. And I think we've got the position. I'm using a scriber made from an old hacksaw blade. I'll scribe in the position that the hole has to go into. I can see that, and I now know the angle that I have to come in at with the drill. You're going to pick the centre of the lip to start your hole off. Right. Now you've got to bring the drill round so that it starts on the edge of the oval that you marked out. And you can always have your rod holder at hand so you can check the angle that drill's coming in at. Hole there. The hole's in the right position now. A kayak rod holder is going to sit in the correct position, but you're going to have to make it point slightly upwards, otherwise your rods are going to fall out. So this is where the turning takes place before we actually do it. There can be quite a lot of strain on these when you've got a big fish on. You're not drilling right through, you're only drilling through the rod holder. And lastly, to show you how difficult the job was, I did it up there and the roof of my old Transit.